To our final lecture, longevity supplements. Now, everybody was waiting for this. These supplements activate the longevity pathways and slow down the aging process and keep those age-related diseases at bay. And here we go. Our first one, I'm sure you heard about it, NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide, which is a precursor to NAD, which we know by now is our number one energy source for our cells. Without that, you'll be dead in like 30 seconds. It's great for energy production, DNA repair, and cellular signaling. It helps with mitochondrial function, which is our powers of our cell. So it increases, your energy, because the more NAD levels you have in your blood, the more energy you have. The more energy you have, the more the body can heal and fight off diseases, and the longer you live. And it also helps with activating the sirtuin pathways, which we already know. Our sirtuin pathways, get activated, from cold plunge, sauna. Remember those adversities. And when you take that supplement, in addition, it can also activate the sirtuin pathways, and they're responsible, for healthy aging, DNA repair, DNA signaling. It's basically the immune system of our cells. It also activates AMPK, which is our energy master switch, which we talked about in the previous lecture. Also helps with increasing autophagy. And here is the amazing part. So this is an NMN study with twins. These mice are twins, whether you believe it or not. And you can actually see a significant difference, in their age. One looks like it's about to die, and the other one looks young and fresh. And also, if you remember the analogy I had in the first part with the CD, the scratches on the CD, which we get, as we get older, and then DVD player has a hard time reading the CD, and the songs get distorted. And as an analogy, that translates to our genome with cell dysfunction, methylation dysfunction. And so they also put the mouse on NMN on a spinning wheel. And the spinning wheel was set on 3 miles, because no mouse on this planet can run nonstop for more than 3 miles. I even have a hard time running 3 miles without stopping. That's quite a distance. Anyway, so this mouse overran the program. At first, the scientists came back and were like, oh, the machine is broken. What are we going to do? And then the other guys goes and looks, no, wait, no, it's not broken. The mouse overran the program of 3 miles. Now that is insane. And that's how much energy they got from NMN. And remember, it's a precursor to NAD, which our cells need, energy. Without that, our cells couldn't survive. And so the more energy they have, the more energy we have, and the healthier we are, and the slower we age, and keep those age-related diseases away. So NMN for sure is one I'm taking. All right, next one is polyphenols. Polyphenols, also known as phytochemicals from plants. These you can find in stress plants. Plants that get attacked by insects and bugs. Then, as defense mechanism, those create these polyphenols, and these phytochemicals. When we consume them, we actually get the health benefits. And they have been in research, for anti-cancer for quite some time. Helps with healthy gut, also with metabolic health and insulin sensitivity, and also helps with DNA repair and DNA protection. And it's a really, really great antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. So polyphenols in combination with NAD, the NAD booster such as NMN, is a perfect combo, because polyphenols, remember, the CD38 enzyme that depletes NAD. Well, polyphenols, we're going to talk about another one in a little bit, but polyphenols in general lower the expression of CD38 enzymes. And that means more energy, more NAD in our cells, because these CD38 enzymes metabolizes NAD or depleted. Then we have NR, nicotinamide riboside, which is very similar to NMN, very similar. The difference is it's derived from a B3, from lysine. You can see the chemical structure of NR and NMN, so it's quite similar, except of one molecule is attached to it, and they both boost NAD. The study has shown that both increase NAD in our blood. They also have shown to activate our sirtuins, especially sirtuin 1, helps with mitochondrial function, DNA repair, cellular energy, and the only difference was when they gave NR to the mice, they conducted the same study to see if the mouse can also run, close to 3 miles. However, that's where NR failed. The mice did not have the same energy as they got from NMN. But besides that, it's a great alternative, because NMN right now is really hard to get. I mean, I have a hookup. I can add it, in the comment section. But NMN is hard to get because it works so well and they sold so much that Big Pharma got involved and they want to make a prescription drug out of it, which of course just comes down to money. So if you can get hold of NMN, NR is the alternative. Then we have TMG, which you can buy in supplements in powder form. It's an amino acid, trimethylglycine, and has three attached to our DNA, methyl groups attached to our DNA. And as we know, those methyl groups are placed at certain parts of our DNA, and they help with gene expression, which gene has to turn on and off. It's basically the traffic light of our genome. So these are, very important when it comes to methylation. And it also has cellular protection, helps with DNA synthesis. Also, with protein synthesis, pretty good actually for muscle growth. That's why it's been around in the fitness and bodybuilding scene for quite some time. But, recently they added it to our longevity supplements, because this TMG with NMN or NR helps because you have the methylation to make sure that the body can absorb everything. And the next one is Spermidine. That is probably one of my favorite. The company happened to be from the same country in Austria, and Spermidine, as the name already says, it was initially found in sperm. And yes, it's still in sperm, but don't worry, the supplement doesn't come from sperm. They make it from wheat germ these days. And there's also certain algae, they also have it, but wheat germ is the common supplement where you get it from. Spermidine is, hands down, does nothing better for autophagy than Spermidine. Spermidine is so powerful, it will cut the 48-hour fast to nothing, and it activates autophagy within hours, which is insane. Because you have to, fast for at least 48 hours to even get there. Spermidine starts it right away. And we already talked about the senescent cells, the zombie cells that need to be recycled. Well, Spermidine is probably the best on the market. It also activates our sirtuin pathways 1, 2, and 3. And we already know the sirtuins are important for cellular health, signaling, DNA repair, and so on, and also for healthy aging. SIRT1 is for cellular stress response, DNA repair, metabolic regulation. SIRT3 is associated with mitochondrial biogenesis, which means it makes new mitochondria if the energy demand is increased. And it's SIRT6 is the one that's directly associated with healthy aging, cellular processes, DNA repair, and maintenance. Also activates our master switch, AMPK, epigenetic modulation, and the last one is hair growth. Spermidine has shown great effects on hair growth, and here on the left you can actually see a study that the mouse on the left reversed the gray hair on the back by using spermidine. So as you can see, spermidine has a lot of great benefits, and that is something you should have in your regimen for sure. Next one is taurine, which is the amino acid that has been around for a very long time. But I think only since last year, you know, I can't remember which university it was, but they did a study on taurine, and then they discovered that it increased the lifespan of all the mice by 20%. So everybody was like, oh, what's going on here? And so they started to look into that. And yeah, I mean, I've been using it for a long time. You can even find it in some of the energy drinks like Red Bull even. And you can buy that in powder forms. You have a lot of that in, you know, protein powders, but you can buy that, you know, separately as a powder or a capsule, which I would recommend. It lowers AGEs. It's an anti-glycation effects. Remember AGEs, the harmful effects it has on aging. The food we consume already come with a certain amount of AGEs, advanced glycation end products. Remember when we talked about the way you cook it, high heat and grilling increases it? Well, besides the acid, you know, the lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, you can also use taurine to lower it. Then we have antioxidant properties. Also great for blood pressure. It lowers blood pressure because it's like a vasodilator. And it also has great neuroprotective effects for your nervous system and cognitive function, makes you smart. And mitochondrial function, which is the powers of our cells, a great anti-inflammatory, also cellular protection, and modulation of calcium homeostasis. And it's been known for a very long time that it increases your eyesight. It's very good for your eyes, and also helps for metabolic support. And here you can see an image with some of the studies they did with taurine supplementation on animals. And as you can see, all the organs improved, increased their lifespan, they burned fat, had better brain function, better gut health, better pancreas, you know, more insulin sensitivity. So overall, the mice have improved a lot, and to live an extra 20% just by using taurine itself, that's pretty good. Now, if you take that with the other longevity supplements together, man, you're gonna live forever. And here we have the good old resveratrol, which has been around for a long time. I think resveratrol was one of the first longevity supplement on the market. I think David Sinclair also brought that on the market about 20 years ago, because he was the one that did the studies on it. And then there was some controversials because other companies couldn't copy his studies, and long story. But we already know now that resveratrol definitely works and has great longevity benefits. It activates our sirtuins 1 and 6. Remember, 6 is the one that's directly affecting healthy aging. SIRT1 is for cellular metabolism, DNA repair, and stress response. SIRT6, cellular maintenance, longevity. A powerful, let me say it again, a powerful anti-inflammatory. If you have high inflammation in your body, or even cellular inflammation, you should take resveratrol. That one is one of the best when it comes to inflammation. Also activates AMPK, which is the longevity or energetic master switch. Great antioxidants, and also lowers AGEs in the food you eat. And also great for cardiovascular health. So overall, resveratrol is the way to go. Now, it's a beautiful image here, you know, makes me hungry just by looking at it. But you can find resveratrol in, you know, berries, chocolate. Now, I get this question every single time. Well, if resveratrol is in berries, isn't it also in wine? I was like, yeah. Well, how much wine do you have to drink every day to get the amount? about 300-400 glasses. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, so you're better off with a supplement. And make sure that when you buy the supplement form, don't buy the beige, yellow colorish, or even some that are dark brown. It has to be the trans resveratrol, and it has to be snow white. All right, so here is AKG, calcium alpha ketoglutarate. Okay, so this one's been around for a long time too. It has been used in bodybuilding for a very long time. However, pay attention because there's two kinds. There is one with arginine. It has arginine AKG. The one that has shown those longevity benefits only has shown with the CA, the calcium AKG. It's also a little bit more expensive when you get it from the store. This one has shown great effects on the mitochondrial function, antioxidant properties, promotes synthesis of collagen. So if you want to improve your skin, your collagen, then this one is a good alternative. Also great for tissue repair and regeneration. This one also has shown about 15% increase in life expectancy, or let's say, lifespan in mice. And you can actually see, a picture. So very similar to the mouse on the bottom, looks like just got out of a fight. So as you can see, the mouse that has the calcium AKG had rejuvenation, effects. However, the one that didn't consume any AGEs, and they're the same age also. I'm not quite sure if they're twins or not, but I know they're the same age. And as you can see, this one is like really old, and it looks like it's about to say goodbye. But as you can see, all those, longevity supplements we have on the market have shown tremendous effect, in animal studies. Now, I know the big question is always getting is, well, how do we know if it really works in humans? Well, first of all, there's one thing to consider. We're at the very beginning phase, maybe a little bit more than the beginning phase in longevity. So that means we are like the first pioneers in that field and biohackers that try everything out on ourselves. And then we come online, on our social media and reporting about it. However, I mean, if you think about it, an average lifespan is like 75 to 80, years. So if you would have to see if you increase your lifespan by like 30, 50% or even more, you had to be around for like 150, 160, 180 years. So you're not going to make it. So that's why nobody really, takes a chance and waits. A mouse, an average lifespan of a mouse is 2.5 to 3 years. So it's really easy to see on them if it works. And then we apply the same principles on the human body. And you'd be surprised, we're not that much different, even though we look a lot different, but the way our organs and everything works is very similar. And most of the studies that we conducted in mice also have shown to work in humans. Okay, let's move on. This is the one we talked about, epigene. Epigene is probably the #1 CD38 enzyme inhibitor. So this one lowers CD38. Remember, this enzyme is the one that depletes, takes all your NAD out and metabolizes it, and you have less NAD, which means you have less energy to heal, less energy to do anything. And of course, with less energy to heal, you get sicker and you also age quicker. So epigene in combination with NMN is great. Remember, epigene also falls under the category of polyphenols. However, epigene has shown to be the #1 polyphenol when it comes to suppressing CD38. Also protects against DNA damage. Also inhibits cellular senescence, which means it stops the cells from dying. Senescent cells are those zombie cells, that lingering around and secrete some of the harmful chemicals. And epigene, stops that process from dying, and then autophagy can occur and those cells can get recycled. And it also improves cognitive function. And this one is also great for collagen synthesis. And so, you know, this one and TMG are really good for, no, not TMG, I mean AKG, are really good for collagen production. And here you can see an image with the CD38 enzyme suppressant, which is the #1 enzyme degraded NAD. And that one you want to keep in check. Now it's important for calcium signaling in the cells. However, everything, you know, in the human body has to be in a good balance, like the yin yang, right? Too much, no good. Too low, no good. The right range, perfect. And CD38 is one of them. If you have too many of them lingering around on the surface of your cells, they literally metabolize, deplete your NAD. And here we have the longevity peptides. Now these, okay, I mean, there could be a lecture on its own. There's just so much to talk about. Longevity peptides. As you might know, the FDA is trying to legalize or make it illegal, let's say, those peptides for research purposes. However, the ones that have shown great effect on longevity are my #1. I take this one usually once a year for 30 days. Epitalon elongates your telomere. It stimulates that enzyme telomerase that repairs and activates the shoelaces, you know, the end of the chromosome that protects your DNA. And epitalon is probably, as far as I know, the best peptide or even the best supplement to do that job. Then we have the copper peptide. You know, copper we need for so many functions in our body, especially for skin health and collagen production and hair. So the copper peptide comes in, you know, cream, lotions, and also in injectable forms. So you can, you know, inject peptides under your skin, you know, to stimulate collagen production, which I have done also. The only side effect with that is it's a little bit painful when you inject it. It's almost like, feels like a bruise. Then Spermidine. So Spermidine is the best peptide to stimulate your thymus gland. Your thymus gland produces T cells, especially those cytotoxic cells, also known as natural killer cells that fight off cancer cells. Now these, to put that in perspective, during COVID, if you remember, all the drugs and supplements that literally worked, they took it off the market, including NSC, which has been around for like 80 years. Okay, so Spermidine, it works so well in stimulating your immune system that they banned it during COVID. I should tell you something. The next one is BPC 157, which probably every fitness individual and bodybuilder knows. It's probably one of the best compounds to heal your tendons or your muscles after an injury. I've been using it quite often, you know, for elbow injury, knee injury, even when I tore my Achilles. Really, really great. It speeds up the healing process, I would say, by easy 70%. Easy. And then the TP500 is very similar. It also helps with tendon repair and tissue repair. And then the PNC27 is peptide that has shown great anti-cancer effects. This one actually right now is in research, in cancer research, and has shown promise effects. Now, why do I add a cancer peptide to longevity? Well, think about it. Oh, no, #1, I think it's #1 now. I think it took over, you know, cardiovascular diseases. That used to be #1, but I think cancer, either way, #1 and #2, killer in the United States. So by adding a peptide that fights that very disease that kills half of the population, I would say it's a great longevity peptide. And if you ever asked yourself where to get it, I even have a discount code. I can send you the link, if you're interested. I'm gonna add the link in the description in this YouTube. Next one is exosome stem cells. Okay, this one is the latest and the greatest in the anti-aging community. Not just in anti-aging, pretty much in every medical field. So exosomes are little tiny vesicles that our stem cells use to communicate. To put that in perspective, I'll give you another funny analogy. Imagine, I want to communicate to you, but obviously you can hear me, but I can hear you. So I have to communicate with you, right? So I'm sending you an email, and then oh, okay, that's what you want to do. So basically, the exosome is the email. Between two stem cells, they use the exosomes to communicate and exchange information. And so the more of these exosomes you have in your blood or in your tissue, the more you recover and you regenerate. So why do they work so well? Well, they deliver, bioactive molecules like RNA, mRNA, proteins, cytokines, and growth factors. To put that in perspective, exosomes have about 300 to 400 growth factors, and the usual procedure we used was the platelets, and they only have about, I think, 70 if you're lucky, or 80. So that's how much more potent it is when it comes to growth factors. Then also great for cellular communication and signaling, because remember, the exosomes are the communicator. And then amazing for tissue repair and regeneration. I've injected exosomes in my skin, also in my scalp, because my hair was falling out. And I can tell you, it does work, because my hair stopped falling out, and little baby hairs are coming out again. And it's been used in hair regrowth quite a bit now. And correct me if I'm wrong, but according to my research and what I've seen, exosomes so far right now, except the surgeries for the hair transplants, exosomes is the best when it comes to hair regrowth. Also great for, it's a really good anti-inflammatory. If you have any inflammation, in your joints through an injury, and you inject it, then the healing process is like, amazing, and the inflammation goes down right away. Now, exosomes been used also, not just in cosmetics, but also for many, I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, the studies I've read from our company, I'm working with Danacord, which is probably the best and biggest exosome company in the United States. And if anybody's interested, I get those exosomes on wholesale, and they are amazing. They even have a gel, which is a patent gel, that you can apply on your skin for cosmetic reasons, to rejuvenate your skin and everything. And it does work, and probably, the best rejuvenation product there is on the market right now. Also great for stem cell activation. Remember, because it's the communicator between the stem cells, promotes autophagy, which is also amazing. We already know about that. And it stimulates and regrowth collagen and elastin fibers. And that happens, you can do that in two different ways. You can microneedle your face and microneedle inside, or massage it inside, or you can subdermally, inject it into the skin. It's not like Botox, where you go into the muscle, into the tissue. It's right on the surface. And yeah, that one has shown amazing effects. And it also has, we already talked about the hair growth. So look here on the left for anti-aging. This is the skin, right? If you have a close-up on your skin here, this is like basically a wrinkle, if you zoom in. And then after applying the exosomes, as you can see, it literally replaced the missing collagen and the elastin fibers here. And that's quite amazing, especially around the eyes, because that's where we get it first. Oh, allergies. And then here on the right, you can also see the improvements of the texture of the skin, because it also helps with hydration. Here you can also see how the skin rejuvenates. If you're a geek, you can dive in and read all the research. I can even send it to you from our company. And also here you can see the wound healing. So those growth factors basically stimulate all the stem cells to repair. As you know, I always have funny analogies, and I have a funny analogy with this one too. Imagine exosomes are an army of construction workers. And you can do an IV, you go through your bloodstream, and then from your bloodstream, they get distributed throughout your body. And as they go throughout your body, they see damaged tissue. Could be brain tissue, could be kidney tissue, heart tissue, whatever. And they start repairing. As soon as they get in, and they're like, oh, there's something broken here. Come in, guys, repair. Oh, something broken here too. Come in, guys, repair. I mean, the studies I've read are amazing. It even reversed autoimmune diseases, because autoimmune diseases is nothing else than a loss of tissue because the body is attacking itself. And since the exosomes do the opposite, they repair. If anybody's interested, just email me info@onestopaging.com. I will send you all the studies, because we have all that from our company. The next one is C60, known as carbon 60. So this one has shown the most mind-blowing lifespan increase in mice by 90%. It increased the lifespan in a mouse by 90%. So it literally doubled the lifespan just by using carbon 60. Well, with carbon 60, it's probably one of the best antioxidants. To put that in perspective, it's about 300 times more potent than vitamin C. And that's probably the biggest property it has, the reduction of oxidative stress in your cells. And it also protects your cells. Now, that alone, was mind-blowing, to increase the lifespan by 90% in mice. And, well, if you think about it, we're carbon life forms, right? And I can't remember the scientists who, came up with that. But here on the right in the picture, you can actually see the molecule of a carbon, and with the hexagon shape. And that one, has amazing effects, in our body, in our health. I mean, the antioxidant effects it has and the potency in protecting the cells is out of this world. So if you take, all these, I'm not taking all of them. I'm taking personally NMN, Spermidine, carbon 60. I used to take Resveratrol, not at the moment. Also the AKG, but not at the moment. And yeah, that's about it. I only take those 3 right now, but I used to take like 5 or 6 for a certain amount of time. And also the peptides on and off. And I wish I could take the exosomes all the time, because they're not cheap. I would do it all the time, but I'm trying to do it at least once a year. Then the next one is Metformin. Metformin is not really a supplement, it's a drug. It's actually a prescription drug. And it's one of the most studied drugs in the world. It's been around for a very long time, for decades, many decades. So this one is a diabetes drug that actually has, really amazing longevity benefits. Now, remember, you already know about the longevity pathways, right? So this drug activates all of these pathways. Let's check it out. It activates AMPK, which we already know is the master switch of our cells, which has anti-aging properties, and inhibits mTOR, which is basically the biggest plus point here. We already know that mTOR is chronic mTOR elevation is associated with fast aging. Remember when we talked about like cell growth equals aging? That's mTOR. Metformin inhibits mTOR. So on days you don't train and you'll need it, suppress it. And metformin does the best job when it comes to that. It also helps with glucose regulation because it's an diabetes drug. So it helps to take up the glucose easier and get it into the cells. Also, it improves mitochondrial function, the powerhouse of our cell for energy. It's a really good anti-inflammatory. Also helps with the activation of autophagy. So as you can see, it has all of them. Helps with weight management because of the glucose regulation. Because we know that high glucose, high blood sugar is associated with faster aging and faster age-related diseases. Then also has shown great effects on cancer prevention and treatments. So it also has to do because of sugar. Since metformin reduces the inflammation and also helps with glucose regulation. And as we know, a cancer cell loves sugar. A cancer cell needs sugar, glucose to survive, and needs an hypoxic area, which is an area with no or less oxygen, and it also needs to be an acidic area. So metformin at least takes the food supply away, which is glucose. Then we have also helps with polycystic ovary syndrome. Also has neuroprotective effects, also because of the glucose regulation. Because we also know that we have type 1 diabetes, where you depend on insulin, where your body stops producing insulin. Then we have type 2, which is you need metformin or be on a low carb diet, because the body doesn't make enough insulin no more. And now we call it type 3, which is Alzheimer's and dementia. So now we actually know that type 3, they call it type 3, and there's no type 3, but that's the new, maybe it's going to be in the medical books as type 3, I'm not sure, but for now they call it type 3, which is basically Alzheimer's, which they know now is directly correlated to high glucose consumption. Like I always said, stop that sugar. There's no benefits about it. And then and also helps with fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver. You don't have to drink alcohol to get fatty liver. All you have to do is just consuming tons of sugar. And then also it has shown in animal studies to increase the lifespan. Here on the left, you can see a worm, an eastworm, I think it is. And it's always the easiest to do the studies on animals that have a short lifespan. And as you can see, by just taking metformin, which is supposed to be a diabetes drug, but it activates all those longevity pathways that get usually only activated through adversity or some of the supplements. When you consume metformin, look at the difference. Nice young skin, and without metformin, old and wrinkly. All right, that's it. So I hope this was helpful. And please, if you have any questions, email me, info@onestopaging.com, and also check the description in this YouTube video. I have all the links in there if you're interested in purchasing any of those longevity supplements, the ones I actually personally use, and I actually personally work with those vendors and those companies, so I know they are legit. And some of them I even tested myself on top of that. So I know they're legit, you can trust it. And I also have some of the discount codes also added. So check them out and make a purchase if you want. Keep in mind the NMN you cannot get on Amazon no more or anywhere online. Most of them you get online are fake these days because they are illegal as of now. However, those two connections I have, check it out. They have NMN. I tested it myself. It is a real deal. It's not the fake one. You can even test it if you want. If you need a lab to test it, I can supply that to you. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about longevity, health, Our company is ArizonaNutritionist.com. You can visit this website anytime. We also work with 10x Health with Gary Brecker. We work together in many different ways, especially with the MTHFR gene testing. I can hook you up with any of that. Just contact me, info@onestopaging.com, and let me know if you have any questions or need any help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.